Welcome to Read This Book. My name is Carolyn Bishoff. I'm the Physics and Astronomy Librarian here at the University of Minnesota.
And I'm Amy Riegelman, a Social Sciences Librarian, including Government Information.
And we are really excited to talk about this topic today, which is focused on The Martian, a book by Andy Weir, which has recently been released as a movie. And NASA is kind of a big deal right now, right?
Right. NASA has been involved in the creation of the movie, including their technology was used. And the NASA website is getting major hits right now. If you go to analytics.usa.gov, they're getting a lot of attention.
That's really exciting.
It is exciting.
For those of you that don't know, The Martian is about an astronaut named Mark Watney who gets stranded on Mars. And the book is about the attempts to rescue him and his experience on the Red Planet. So I brought 3 books about Mars today. The first one is a great big atlas. And the reason I brought this, it's called Magnificent Mars by Ken Croswell. And this book's available in Walter Library, the Science and Engineering Library. The reason I brought this is that it has some really beautiful large-scale photos of the area that Mark Watney landed and travels to. Let's see if I can do this. Whoa. All right, let's look at this. All right, so on this really nice, colorful atlas page are 2 major areas in the book and the film. It's a plain called the Acidalia Planacea, and it's a crater, the name of which I will butcher, of course, the Schiaparelli crater, where Mark Watney ends up going. So, and in addition to some of the landmarks in the book and the movie, there's a lot of really interesting information. The whole book is organized by the 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire. So it talks about the volcanoes on Mars. It talks about the atmosphere and the climate. It's a really, really interesting book, kind of light. And the next book I brought relates to one of the most favorite parts of the book for me, which was when we get to talk to the NASA engineers. This book is called Mars Rover Curiosity, an inside account from Curiosity's chief engineer. And this is also a book we have in Walter Library available for checkout. It's really fascinating. The Curiosity rover landed a few years ago, and if you remember when it landed, there was shots from the mission control where everyone was so excited. But one of my favorite parts of the movie was sort of the snarkiness and the humor that the engineers brought to their work. And so chapter 3 is called Avoiding Splat. It's about how they figured out how to make sure that the Curiosity didn't land in a heap on Mars. That's where they came up with their kind of creative way to get it on the planet. So anyway, it's a really, really fun read. I recommend it highly. And then the last book I brought, I'm not going to talk much about because I've only skimmed it myself, but it's called Driving to Mars. And it's about someone who went with NASA to uninhabited island in the Canadian Arctic to test some of the equipment and life support that they want to use on Mars.
Cool. So I have 2 books today that I'm going to talk about. And whereas the book and film The Martian takes place in the 2030s, I have 2 books that have a more historical perspective. The first one I'm going to talk about was published in 1980. And did you know that the volcanoes in Hawaii are often compared to the volcanoes on Mars?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but they're much, much larger.
The ones on Mars are much, much larger?
Correct. So this book is called Volcanic Features of Hawaii, a Basis for Comparison with Mars, and it's available in Wilson Library in the Government Publications collection. It was published by NASA, and it has really cool images, and it's a great place to learn about the similarities and differences of the volcanoes on Mars and in Hawaii. And it's also nice if you're just looking for basic geology information about Mars. But it is from 1980, so you could kind of compare what we know now to what they knew then. So cool. And then this one is called The Martian Landscape. And this was published 2 years earlier than the book I just mentioned. It's from 1978. So it's really cool for understanding the Viking lander and the cameras that they used on the Viking lander back in the 70s. So if you are interested in photography and kind of inside baseball of the lander and the cameras that they use, this would be a really cool option. There's also really neat black and white photos from that era, and then some photos that were enhanced with color towards the back here. So here's a quick shot. But I was kind of geeking out over both of these publications, just kind of thinking about where we are now compared to where we were then, and how NASA's really an authoritative voice in this. But for current information on NASA, I would highly recommend scoping out nasa.gov.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Read This Book. It was Amy and my pleasure to be here. Make sure you check out The Martian and also check out the movie as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.